All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Game 2 between MYM.Mondragon and ZeeRaX. We are now on Shakura's Plateau. And, you know, Day, I do an always ongoing effort to try to satisfy every single person that is watching over the internet. Some people might ask, why don't I see the double resource tab going on here? Well, I even learned earlier this week that some maps just quite simply do not support it. So it's not because that information is being denied to you. It's just because that's the way the map is. So I'm sorry that that is the way it is. And you know, I'm sure in the future it'll all be worked out. So with that being said, ZeeRaX is our blue Protoss in the northeast position, and we've got MYM.Mondragon, our red Zerg, in the southwest. And I do not hear Day 9. So I think that he might have gotten dropped. I also do not see him inside the tab. So here we go. Total Biscuit style, going totally solo here. And I'm sure Hotmid will tell me what's going on here in just a moment, but it appears as if we have lost Day 9, leaving me all alone. So that's okay. I'm excited because I really felt like Mondragon did a good job in the last game. And, of course, having watched a little bit of the previous TSLs, and especially some of the highlights from those, is a player that if you followed Brood War or were even around it, you know, I wasn't so much a follower of the game as I was just kind of around it so much with all the competitions I went to. And he was always a name that you heard, always a name that people talked about, and so exciting to see here. Now, we do have the drone for Mondragon being chased around here by that probe, but he already has gone gas and spawning pool, so it's all just kind of a big ploy. He is, oh, hello, you are back, yay.
Yeah, yep. In fact, I was actually talking just to myself alone in my room for about a full minute before I realized that no one was listening, but that's cool. It was good practice. It was good practice because I'm back now, and we do see that, just like you said, very nice little drone play there by Mondragon to distract ZeeRaX for just a little bit, but ZeeRaX is going to be quite happy that he has the chance to set up that nice little wall off at the front of his base. A little surprised to see him going for that Gate Cybernetics core instead of that very fast Forge Nexus, but I wanted to briefly note that Mondragon is one of the pioneers of the idea of the GG button. Because Mondragon at the WCG Grand Finals had an easy button that when you pressed, it just said, that was easy. And every time you won a game, bam! Fist just crushed down right on that. Had it right up in the main stage. And now gamers all around the world want a button too.
Well, you know what? We see so many players, Day, just gain fans from simple series like this, a series that broadcast over a weekend, and just after game 1, I really got to feel that suddenly there are going to be a lot of people jumping onto that Mondragon train. Now, we don't know the results. It's very possible ZeeRaX can come back, but I just feel like based off of how Mondragon played, he is just going to be picking up a new legion. He's going to be refreshing his fan base here this weekend, thanks to the TSL3.
Definitely. And oh, there was a very nice little juke there by ZeeRaX, stepping way far doar to do a little bit of damage to those Zerglings, but still backing away in time. And it looks like Mondragon is quite intent on picking off this pylon. Oh, it only has 16 health left. He has to throw down, oh my gosh, a force field. Mondragon actually kills the pylon. ZeeRaX supply blocked, and now 2 Zerglings in the main. Classic play by Mondragon. We see that Stargate is out, but nothing can be done with it. And there are the probes now trying to surround a very, very embarrassing little misstep there by ZeeRaX to let that fall.
Yeah, and that did supply block him too, by the way, at 28 of 26. Let's see if maybe Zergling can also stop this expansion at all. He does not, unfortunately. Had so few hit points, and we have a lot of drones coming out now. So yeah, hi, I have 4 Zerglings. You can't do anything with 4 Zerglings. Are you joking yourself? You can like look at some stuff, but look at what Mondragon did. What a payoff. He got the pylon down, supply blocked the Protoss, which offset the Nexus just a little bit, saw inside the base, took probes off of mining. Quite a nice little attack there, or, you know, not even an attack, just sort of a poke.
Yeah, a poke gone perfect. Knocking down that entrance. Everything possible that could have happened did. And there we do now see 4 queens about to be completed for Mondragon. He's getting his second gas up, has that Evo chamber. Would love to see some upgrades begin quite soon, but ZeeRaX, per usual, after doing a little bit of poking with this Phoenix, we do see a robotics facility going down right next to the main. This is the technique that ZeeRaX loves, getting the Colossi with the range 9 up very early to be able to defend his Expo from atop that cliff, and then expanding to his back door as he adds on more and more air.
Yeah, and I'll be excited to see exactly how that will play out. We did have a temporary pause on unit production on the Stargate, but now a Void Ray is coming out. Just the one Phoenix out to guard. More Zerglings going out there, taking the towers, also just kind of moving forward, poking, always making sure he's not seeing any sort of big army move out or anything like that. And ZeeRaX is trying to get his second up just fine. He also does have this Overlord out here, so he can poke in there if he needs to. Phoenix is going to come over, but remember, a solo Phoenix still can't do jack. He's got to have a buddy in order for that buddy system to work out nicely. We now have an observer coming out of that robotics facility, and the robotics bay, who just shortly behind, also like to see the creep spread, excuse me, of Mondragon doubling up on those queens and really getting out. Look at the amount of tumors that are getting out there.
And I'd also like to add that Mondragon doing a very classically Mondragon-y thing, getting a second evolution chamber very, very early. He did this a lot in the Brood War days. Really values beginning those early on, so that way, in the mid and late game, he's hitting 2-2 or 3-3 a lot earlier than the opponent, and can begin putting pressure on. There's the third hatch going down for Mondragon. And oh, the Void Ray from ZeeRaX, the timing is just impeccable, arriving right at the moment when that hatch does get started. Looks like the Phoenix from ZeeRaX trying to poke in, see if there's any more queens coming, and it will end up retreating.
Yeah, actually having those... Oh my god, the Void Ray actually flying right over the queens. I don't think they're going to be able to take it out, but now on creep, they might be able to kite it a little bit down to 37. Hit points 19. Not going to be able to get it just off of the creep there. It's like, I'll just put another one right here. And one of the other interesting things about that attack is that notice the amount of energy on both of those queens, definitely having a transfusion available. So that would have been, you know, it was smarter for him to run away with those units. Now we've got another Hydra Den going down. Let's see if he uses it as little as he did in the last game. Ventral Sacs also so early. Day 9, but I love this upgrade so much. I think it has so much potential. Look at what these queens are doing. They're crazy.
No doubt. What are they doing that far off creep? Go back home, queens. And there they go, feeling nice and at home where they can run around nice and quickly. But I love this logic from Mondragon of, yeah, you're getting a lot of air. I better get more roaches. I mean, in a sense, this really negates the logic of ZeeRaX's build, where all this pressure that he's putting on by air, Mondragon responds by putting pressure on via ground. And there's the double lift, immediately bringing the noise on those queens. 2 Spore Crawlers do go down. It looks like Mondragon getting relifted again, the fully charged Void Ray. Now applying more pressure. Mondragon adding on 4 Hydras, but it looks like he is going to continue to go back to making roaches after that. There are some of those drones getting lifted. Looks like ZeeRaX is going to try to work on those Spore Crawlers, but one is getting very, very close to done. There's an Overseer now making its way up, and wow, the Spore Crawlers do manage to finish in time, repelling everything. And the Overseer is going to fall, but look at the front of the base.
The front of the base being overrun by a bunch of roaches right now, and he is going to make his way in. There are a couple Colossus, but it's like, no problem. Just move forward and try to take them out. We do have a force field separating these roaches, but it's still not going to matter. It just goes to show how important they are, walking right on top of that Colossi and making him run away. There will be more roaches coming in. Finally, here comes that Void Ray, so he completely gets rid of all of the threat there at home. Cybernetics Core goes down. There's still going to be a lot of unit loss here as well. He's probably going to be able to get up there and take out that Colossus if he plays this one right, and might step on down. A few roaches on the low ground here, but a very, very impressive counterattack here. Again, using non-air hitting units from Mondragon.
Oh, a Hydraless army from Mondragon would have just been murdered at those front door. However, the fact that Mondragon is doing these heavy ground units, the roaches, again, you try to pressure me by air, I will just pressure you back by ground. And look at that, Mondragon taking a 4th base, realizing that his opponent cannot put any pressure back for some period of time, taking it even before his 3rd is saturated. More ground units from Mondragon advancing forward. We see that the +2 Zerg missile attacks almost done, and there's Mondragon with the very early ups, just patiently waiting till he's at 2-1, and even the Tunneling Claws upgrade Wow, and there's the drop. Mondragon even clearing out the bottom so he can eventually take a 5th.
Dude, I really do feel like you can see the I guess the natural talent of a Brood War player really coming out here, making a lot of very intelligent situations. He's going to go ahead and drop in here very, very close to that Colossi, taking it down, no problem. There's another one over there, but that's okay. We'll take it out too. There are enough Hydralisks to support and maybe take out some of these air units. Meanwhile, the Roaches will go for that robotics facility, eliminating any more Colossus coming out on the field. We have another cybernetics core that is going down now, but this might just be too much. Look at the units that are still streaming in here for Mondragon. He's got drops. He can retreat and get more units in here, now attacking the expansion. Absolute devastation here on this Protoss.
And again, a repeat of game 1, only Roaches being made, Roaches streaming everywhere, Void Rays, Phoenixes, all the air units doing massive damage, but they cannot do it fast enough. And look at the Roaches in the main, ripping apart probes there. Oh my gosh. And there's ZeeRaX. And it looks like whatever so much with no real one-game practice. And there's the good luck.
Oh, okay, now, hold on. Now, it's kind of an interesting thing because I guess that Mondragon was being very humble in his opening interviews, and was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to have to get lucky to win against my opponent. And, you know, if you read that, you know, and then you go into a game, that's sort of something mentally that you've got to overcome. But I'm not surprised to see a comment like that out of ZeeRaX. It's sort of a, you know, a frustrated way of saying like, yeah, like you're really out of practice, dude. Like, you know,
yeah. You needed like, help in those games, didn't you?
Right,
Thank God for the divine intervention, buddy. Like,
but, yeah, wow. So, color me a fan, Day 9.
That was like incredible. What a great, yeah, and what a great lesson to be learned there that, you know, so often players are in reaction mode. But you saw Mondragon right there in action mode. He saw that there was a lot of air harassment and a lot of Colossi coming up. People would say, oh yeah, better make some Hydralisks and some Queens to defend against the air, and then I better get some Corruptors to be able to handle that force head on. Mondragon did not react to that army. He just immediately got the Roaches and began slamming his opponent's front door, blasting him with drops all over the place, and just brought down the Roach Hammer, and there was just nothing that ZeeRaX could do with it. Brilliant, brilliant sidestepping of the core idea of ZeeRaX's strategy.
I'm not sure what I'm more excited for, going back, watching those games again, or waiting for the Team Liquid thread where someone breaks down exactly what he was doing, because everything that he did seemed to make a lot of sense. And, you know, one of the things that you pointed out, Day, was like, you know, yeah, I made a Hydralisk den. I made some Hydras in case I needed them. It worked out for me. I didn't overmake. You know, as a Zerg player, I overmake all the time. And I see that, and it's really inspiring play to just go like, that was truly a chill Zerg right there.
So incredibly exciting, I guess I'd call it, debut for Mondragon.
Sure.
I mean, who's one of the most well-known. Yeah, one of the most well-known Brood War players of all time, highly coveted by teams and fans, and then popping into TSL3 as a relative unknown in the StarCraft 2 scene, just making a hell of a mark. So huge congrats to him, and huge concerns for the person who has to face him next round, which would be Cruncher.
Oh, wow. That'll be really interesting, especially because I feel like Mondragon, well, I mean, based off of what he did versus that Protoss right there, perfect. Now I'm just excited to think about that potential matchup and how that might play out. But I can't think that far ahead yet because we got something so special coming around the corner.
I know the highlight match of the day, El Dr. Wheat, is going to be... Okay, are you ready for this, Wheat?
I'm ready. Drop it on me.
It is the Little App Factory's very own Liquid TLO against none other than the hero of Brood War, OGS Nada, the holder of a golden mouse, the only Grand Slam winner in Brood War, winning an OSL, MSL, and a KPGA Tour all in the same period of time. OGS Nada, one of the most powerful and influential players in Brood War of all time, has so many gold medals and silver medals and medals of all sorts that when he goes swimming, he immediately drowns.
Immediately
He sinks
sinks
right
to the bottom of the ocean.
Yep, sinks right to the
However,
bottom of
the
that
good
4-foot
news
pool.
is that when he deep sea dives, he's in great shape.
No doubt, you should see the biceps on Nada, one of the most flex friendly pro gamers out there. He is also in the Code S, advancing to the GSL quarterfinals twice, and is well known for being one of the zippiest players around, regularly having around 380 to 400 actions per minute in Brood War. And I don't know exactly how the APM is calculated in SC2, but everyone else is also well below him.
Yeah, don't forget he's also incredibly handsome.
He is. I'm actually admiring that beautiful portrait art of him. He looks just that sexy in real life.
Let's be real here. Of course, TLO is a handsome man himself, and not only handsome in person, but handsome in play. And that is one thing that has set TLO apart from so many other players, is that it's almost like TLO just used a scalpel to take his scalp off and remove his brain and just like spills it all over his games, because I just see creativity and thought and fun whenever we get to see him play at his best.
Yeah, I mean, TLO, I think the most notable aspect of him is that he just really kind of does whatever he wants, both in each individual game, as well as in his out-game choices for the race. He has been switching from Terran to Zerg to Random to Protoss temporarily, and in these matches, he's going to be playing Terran, so he's exploiting every possible advantage that he can against Nada. He has a huge series of accomplishments under his belt as well, so he's not just a fancy player with flair that can't back it up. And even at Gamescom, managed to defeat Nada 2-1 in a show match. So huge props to TLO for that achievement, and let's see if he can give it a repeat today.
Yeah, TLO, definitely a fan favorite, from the beginning of beta to the release. He might not have had the most epic results as of late, but still his fan base continues to be extremely loyal and sticks behind him, and it's because he typically does deliver in those games that he shows. So let's see if TLO can turn things around and really turn some of that awesome play into championship play. Of course, a win versus OGS Nada would be the great thing to set him off on this journey through the TSL3 brackets. And, at this point, before we get started here, guys, don't forget to check out the raffle for the PokerStrategy.com TSL3. Go and click on the referral link. If you like money, you like play poker, you like taking trips to Korea, all you do is sign up through that referral link. You get $50. You get entered into the raffle. You can gamble a little bit. I know I love to do that. And then possibly win a trip to Korea, spending money, all sorts of good stuff. So make sure that you go and check that out. Unfortunately, non-US only. So, sorry, Day.
Too bad for we Americans, but that is pretty much fine by me, because if you're in America, it is prime time. It is around 2 in the afternoon for me to go directly into the highlight match of the day. OGS Nada versus Liquid TLO. A lot of pressure on both of these players, as Nada, one of the only Koreans remaining in this tournament. TLO, one of the only remaining Liquid members in this tournament, as a lot of his teammates have already been eliminated. So let's see who's going to come out on top. Only one player will be advancing to the round of 16. So let's go into game 1 right now of Nada against TLO.